Eating organic foods can reduce the circulating pesticides in your blood.
The greatest gaslight ever pulled off is the organic food industry.
As a farmer, I always forget that people actually fall for this scam.
Thank you for tuning in. You are now watching Who Do We Trust? I am Ray Ray, a certified fitness and nutrition coach. But first and foremost, I'm learning, growing, and sharing with you. The intention of these videos is to provoke thought, action, and implementation in your own life. So bring an open mind and let's get into the video. Today's episode is about organic food.
There's actually a study that shows eating organic food, so basically removing glyphosate from your food, because organic is not bougie, it's just without the glyphosate, right?
There we go.
For 3 to 5 days only, that small window can reduce the circulating pesticides in your blood 80 to 90%. So let's say I've been eating conventional food my whole pregnancy. I'm now 5 months pregnant, and I decide for the next 4 days to just eat all organic. I mean, what a blessing it is for the baby and all the things that are happening during this, crucial time.
The greatest gaslight ever pulled off that no one seems to talk about is the organic food industry. Let me show you. Number one, but not the biggest, is just how expensive it is. Consumer Reports compared the top 100 grocery items and found that on average, the organic version of those foods are 47% more expensive than the non-organic version. So if a family of 4 wanted to eat organic, their monthly grocery bill just went from a little over $900 to almost $1,400. But that's kind of okay, because organic is safer and healthier for you, right? Well, let me introduce you to this man right here. This is Dan Glickman. He was the Secretary of Agriculture under President Clinton. And in the year 2000, he was given the job to originate organic food labeling in the United States. In the final announcement he gave after creating organic, he said and wanted to make it clear that organic is not a statement about food safety, nor is organic a value judgment about nutrition or quality. It was just to fortify trust with farmers. Do you want me to say that again? The man who invented it said it has nothing to do with how safe or healthy your food is. Which brings us to our last point. Most people when surveyed just assume organic food is healthier, but that's just not true. There have been countless studies done testing these foods, and in the end they always come back the same, showing there's no real evidence that organic is any more nutritious than non-organic. But what about the chemicals and pesticides they use? Well, those aren't that different either. Organic crops still use both synthetic and non-synthetic pesticides, along with chemical and non-chemical containment methods, both studied extensively, showing no health benefits over non-organic. Organic really isn't safer or healthier for you, just a lot more expensive.
I know some people won't like this, but he's right, school. The controlled evidence we have shows that organic food really isn't healthier. Take this study that fed adults organic or conventional tomatoes for 3 weeks. They found no differences in plasma concentrations of the main antioxidants. This study fed people organic or conventional carrots for 2 weeks. Guess what? No differences in plasma carotenoid concentrations or any other measurement. And this systematic review of 35 papers shows that although some observational research points to organic consumers having a lower risk of certain diseases, organic consumers are generally more health conscious and are more likely to be physically active. Concluding, the current evidence base does not allow a definitive statement on the long-term health benefits of organic dietary intake. And no, it was not funded by Big Roundup. And whilst organic food might reduce your level of pesticide exposure, organic food still uses pesticides, they're just different kinds. And the levels of pesticides on food are so tiny they're really not a concern for most people. So if you want to eat organic food and can afford it, that's fine. But don't go around claiming it's so much better for you. Class dismissed.
That you buy organic, because organic means that the chickens were fed a vegan.
As a farmer, I always forget that people actually fall for this scam. This girl's satire totally reminded me that people actually think that just because something's organic means that it's better for you. What's actually happening is that marketing companies realize people are afraid of chemicals, and they came up with this scammy word called organic that allows them to charge more for a product. And the crazy thing is, a lot of organic food actually has chemicals on it. Because as long as the chemicals being used have at least one carbon atom in them, they're considered organic. And not only that, as someone who works in the food industry, I cannot tell you the amount of times I've seen a food enter into the country that wasn't organic when it got here, but when it was put on the shelf, it was magically organic. If you really want organic, which I do highly suggest, your best option is going to be to grow it yourself or find a reputable farmer. Because remember, just because you're buying organic, don't mean it's better for you.
What's good, y'all? We're gonna hop right into the research portion of the video. Is organic food actually better for us or not? According to Google, there isn't much evidence that organic food is significantly healthier than conventionally grown food, but it does have some environmental benefits. Pesticide-wise, organic food has fewer synthetic pesticides and fertilizers than conventionally grown food. However, the amount of pesticides in both types of food is generally safe to consume. So they say. All right. Environment-wise, organic food is better for the environment because it uses fewer heavy farming methods, which reduces pollution. Organic farming practices include using plant waste, manure, or compost to improve soil quality, rotating plants to prevent pests and diseases, using cover crops to prevent soil erosion, using mulch to control weeds, using insects or traps to control pests, using natural pesticides or a few synthetic pesticides as a last resort. Nutrition-wise, some studies have found that organic food has higher concentrations of antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids and improved fatty acid profiles. However, other studies have found that organic and conventional food have similar levels of vitamins, minerals, and carbohydrates. As far as taste is concerned, there doesn't seem to be a significant difference in taste between organic and conventional food.
Debatable.
Storage-wise, nutritional content is lost during storage, and this affects organic food just as much as conventionally grown food. Freezing food can help preserve its nutritional value. Okay. Now we're going to go a little deeper beyond our Google front page into an article posted by UC Davis Health. That's University of California, Davis. Are organic foods really healthier? Two pediatricians break it down. What does it mean for food to be organic? We just read on the front page of Google what the organic process is, but let's see what they have to say about it. The U.S. Department of Agriculture defines organic as crops that are produced on farms that have not used most synthetic pesticides, herbicides, or fertilizer for 3 years before harvesting the food. There needs to be a significant buffer zone to decrease contamination from adjacent farmlands. Farms also have to be free from any genetic engineering, ionizing radiation, or sewage sludge. Yuck.
Ew, what? Okay.
And as it relates to livestock, animals must be fed organic feed, live on organic land, and be raised without routine antibiotics or hormone. Free range doesn't mean organic. It just means animals weren't kept in such small enclosures. Also, the natural label on foods means there's no artificial flavoring or color ingredients, but that doesn't mean it's organic or free of pesticides. Why are organic foods often so much more expensive than conventionally grown produce and meat? On average, organic foods cost 50% more than their conventionally produced counterparts. This is largely because farmers have to pay close attention to their cultivation practices. Pests, weeds, and diseases must be managed by physical, mechanical, and biological controls instead of pesticides. When it comes to meat and dairy products, animals that are not raised organic are often given growth hormones that increase milk production and steroids that help promote growth, yielding more meat. Increased meat and milk production means farmers don't have to charge as much because they have more to sell. Is organic food more nutritious than regular food? Organic foods are not healthier per se in terms of nutrients. You are still getting the same benefits in conventionally grown foods as you are in organic foods. Okay, what is organic milk? Is organic milk healthier than regular milk? Organic milk has the same protein, mineral, lipid, and vitamin content as normal milk. Non-organic milk typically has growth hormones, which are specific to each species. So, drinking milk with bovine growth hormone, which is degraded by stomach acid, has no physiological impact on humans. Is it safe to buy non-organic meat? Sex steroids like estrogen may be given to cattle to increase meat yield, making production more efficient for farmers. However, the sex steroid levels are extremely low. Treated and untreated cattle have about the same level of sex steroids. It is possible that when combined with other sex steroids, certain people can be susceptible to harm. Antibiotics can also be used to promote growth in livestock. They are similar to those used in humans, but are not meant to treat health issues. This use of antibiotics increases the development of drug-resistant bacteria, which can be transmitted to humans, making it harder to treat infections. What effects can pesticides have on children? Can they have effects on adults? Increased exposure to pesticides can lead to increased risk of ADHD and autism. It is also linked to reduced cognitive skills, ability to learn, and memory. Exposure to pesticides may lead to the development of Parkinson's disease, fertility issues, and cognitive decline later in life. There is also a potential link between cancer and pesticides. In 2015, the International Agency for Research on Cancer classified 3 common pesticides as carcinogenic. The primary exposure in humans was through diet. Overall, is it better to eat organic or not? Organic diets we know lead to less pesticide and antibiotic exposure, but nutritionally, they are about the same. In addition, there's no evidence of clinically relevant differences between organic and conventional milk. There isn't a concrete study that proves organic foods lead to healthier children, but eating organic is an advantage since we know pesticides can lead to neurodevelopmental issues and are strongly associated with cancer. Should you buy all organic produce, or are there some fruits and vegetables that are okay to buy non-organic? Avocados, cantaloupe, pineapple, broccoli, cabbage, and corn have low levels of pesticides, so there's no real need to buy organic. In contrast, strawberries, spinach, grapes, apples, tomatoes, and celery have high levels of pesticide residues. If you want to get the most bang for your buck on produce, frozen veggies can be cheaper than fresh, and they are very similar in quality. Check out the Environmental Working Group's Clean 15 list of foods that are okay to buy regular, and Dirty Dozen list of foods you should spend extra to buy organic. Okay, so let's check out this Environmental Working Group. Who's the Environmental Working Group?
Who are you?
They tell us the Environmental Working Group is a community 30 million strong working to protect our environmental health by changing industrial standards. We're not just another nonprofit environmental group. We're a nationwide community. We're advocates who won't quit. We're scientists that find solutions. We're people trying to make the safest choices for our health. At the Environmental Working Group, we believe that you should have easy access to the information you need to make smart, healthy choices. It's this belief that inspired our president and co-founder Ken Cook to create EWG.
Okay.
Now we got a brief explanation on who EWG is. We're going to take a look at their full list. It says here, the Shopper's Guide to Pesticides in Produce represents EWG's analysis of the latest fruit and vegetable testing data from the Department of Agriculture and Food and Drug Administration. The 2024 guide includes data from 47,510 samples of 46 fruits and vegetables. For our Dirty Dozen, of the 46 items included in our analysis, these 12 fruits and vegetables were most contaminated with pesticides. As we read in the article, we got strawberries, spinach, kale, collard and mustard greens, grapes, peaches, pears, nectarines, apples, bell and hot peppers, cherries, blueberries, and green beans. These were tested but not on either list. So these 19 items were included in the fruits and vegetable testing data from the USDA and FDA, but do not fall into either the Dirty Dozen or Clean 15. So they didn't have as high levels of pesticides, but they weren't clean enough to go on the clean list. We have tomatoes, winter squash, cherry tomatoes. Why didn't just put that with the tomatoes, okay?
Conspicuous eye roll.
Celery, lettuce, tangerines, cucumbers, summer squash, broccoli, potatoes, plums, eggplant, raspberries, grapefruit, snap peas, oranges, cantaloupe, bananas, cauliflower. Hey! And now for our Clean 15. These 15 items had the lowest amount of pesticide residues. Carrots, sweet potatoes, mangoes, mushrooms, watermelon, cabbage, kiwi, honeydew melon, asparagus, sweet peas frozen, papaya, onions, pineapple, sweet corn, and avocados. Okay, so if we're talking about residue, my next question to Google is, can we just wash it off? Because I have heard and been told that washing and soaking my fruits and vegetables in water with vinegar or water with baking soda help to clean the pesticide residue from my fruits and veggies. So I posed the question to Google. While washing fruits and vegetables with a diluted vinegar solution may help remove some pesticide residue, the FDA and CDC recommend simply washing with running water as the most effective method and do not endorse using vinegar as it could potentially absorb into the produce due to its porous nature. OMG. There are also concerns about potential chemical reactions between pesticides and vinegar. Okay. Regular tap water is the best cleaner for fruits and vegetables. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the Food and Drug Administration both recommend washing produce with running water and not other solutions, including vinegar or commercial produce washes. Don't use soap, detergent, or store-bought produce wash.
Well, I recommend using soap.
No, don't do that.
Fruits and vegetables are absorbent by nature, so it's generally not recommended to use any type of soap, detergent, or cleaning solution on them. Resist the urge to soak your produce.
Guilty.
Soaking fruits and vegetables in clean water might seem like an effective way to deep clean it prior to eating. While it may help to remove pesticide remnants from the surface of produce items, it can actually lead to an increased spread of germs through the soaking water, causing a higher level of contamination. Your sink is dirtier than you think. Don't forget to wash produce that has a thick rind like watermelon and cantaloupe. It's just as important to wash thick rind produce as it is to wash fruits and veggies lacking the natural shield. Washing summer produce that is peeled and eaten without the skin, such as honeydew melon or mango, requires the same level of attention as fruits and vegetables that are eaten whole. Even if you are not planning to eat the skin on certain produce, washing is important to minimize the dirt and bacteria that could be transferred from the surface to the fruit itself when peeling or cutting. Be sure to have a clean scrub brush handy. You can boost the effectiveness of plain water with a bit of scrubbing. Most people skip the step of rubbing or gently scrubbing the surface of fruits and vegetables. The friction created by rubbing or brushing helps remove dirt, bacteria, and some pesticide residues. So, remember to give your produce a gentle rub or use a produce brush for more effective cleaning. Okay, well, what about baking soda? Studies have shown that while washing produce in a baking soda solution can reduce pesticide residues by 66.7 to 98.9%, washing in tap water alone can reduce by 26.7 to 62.9%. Knowing that the levels of pesticide residues are almost negligible anyway, the advantage added by baking soda becomes minuscule.
We have a winner!
According to my sources, what I'm getting from this is not to clean with the vinegar because it may have a bad reaction with the pesticide chemical, but a baking soda solution or baking soda and water is better and reduces pesticides on the surface more than just cleaning with water. While just water is recommended over using vinegar and water, baking soda and water is recommended over just water. And also using a scrub brush and rubbing while rinsing your veggies and fruits. If you would like to look into some of the articles that I looked at, here are a few sources, but also you could easily Google or Bing or Yahoo search for yourself. Find many studies and articles on these topics and decide who you trust. As far as my opinion goes, I do believe, as this article has stated, that it's somewhere in the middle. While on the videos, the first video is pro-organic foods.
You eat organic?
And the remaining few videos are anti-organic.
This is BS. This is BS.
Stating that it's a complete gaslight. There's studies showing that it's BS because the nutritional value is the same. And the farmer who offers a different perspective of some fruits and vegetables being listed as organic that aren't actually organically grown. See, it's one thing to choose to buy organic because you want to help the environment and ingest less pesticides, but then to think you're purchasing organic, paying the higher price and thinking that you're doing something better for your body and the environment, only to learn that you're potentially not eating anything different and it's just a different label being slapped on there and you're paying more for nothing. That gives me trust issues. That gives me immediate trust issues.
I mean, serious trust issues.
Even reading, I take everything with a grain of salt.
Well, I listen, but grain of salt.
So even what I read, whatever Google tells me, I also take with a grain of salt because things are always changing. One day we know something and the next day it's a whole nother ball game. It's like, hey, have you or a family member been blah, 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 fill in the blank? You may have a case because basically they lied to you. Everything you believed was a lie.
But like rats in some experiment.
So it's like, I hear everyone in these videos. I see their take. I see this article. It all sounds like good advice, or it's confusing because they all sound like they know what they're talking about. Everyone sounds very educated in what they're saying. Everyone's doing research the same as I am.
According to my research.
These people who are, medical doctors or they're scientists or they work in this field or that field, we want to trust them. We want to believe them. But, people are lying to us on a regular basis and saying that something's organic and it's not. All I can do is take the information that I'm being given and then make the best decision possible with the information that I have moving forward. And as I continue to learn more and more, then I continue to make new decisions based off of new information.
Amen to that.
I hope that you are enlightened, intrigued, and curious enough to do your own research and find out what it is that you believe or which way you lean. Will this make you start to buy organic or stop buying organic? Will you take the advice of the lists that I provided you today? Will you go and track down this list for yourself and begin to take their advice and purchase organic where they say you should and non-organic where they say it's not a big deal, it's fine? Will you begin to wash your veggies and fruits? Use a baking soda solution? Will you say, forget it, I don't know who to trust, I don't know what to think? I don't want to persuade you one way or the other. I want you to make your own choice. Just make it for yourself. From what I hear though, organic is good for the environment, but they still use pesticides. Nutritionally, it is the same as conventionally grown foods, but the conventionally grown foods have more pesticide residues. So, wash it, pray over it, whatever you believe, and just live your best life. Don't get too hung up over it, I'd say. Just make conscious choices and do your best, Let me know who you trust in the comments. I'm here for it. Peace.